tell us about the startup, the early days. I mean, lots of people have read, like me, about this story, but it's worth just mentioning again that you started selling beds for someone else, I think, and then decided you were going to do this yourself.
Well, I went to High Wycombe College, now Bucks New University, fantastic place, and it's... I got into furniture, because Wycomb's a furniture town. I got into furniture retail and worked my way up to being an area manager, but I'd always wanted my own business. My father had his own business, a printing business in Beaconsfield. My mother had her own business, and I was always used to buy and sell things at school, and, I felt I was... Look back now, entrepreneur wasn't the word you would have used, but I had an entrepreneurial sort of slant somehow. And I was in furniture retail, so the obvious thing was to start a business, buying and selling things or whatever, and bed seems as good as anything.
Did it? It was best just because it's as good as anything.
Everyone's got one. You spend a third of your life in bed. Most people are born in a bed. Most people die in a bed. Yeah. You go to bed if you're not well. It's.
I suppose like funerals, we're always going to require funeral parlours.
Well, exactly.
We're always going to require beds.
It's a relatively simple thing. It hasn't got lots of moving parts, and it's. As you say, everyone wants one or needs one.
Yeah, and you said something interesting there about entrepreneurial spirit. We did have someone else on, maybe in fact more than one guest, but we talked about whether they had displayed any entrepreneurial flair at school, because often people do.
Yeah.
Somebody we had on who was buying and selling stuff at school. You've done the same thing.
I have, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people would, but it was... you worked your way up. I used to buy and sell push bikes, and then I used to buy and sell LPs as they were then, and then it was cars, and I went through a phase of buying and selling second-hand tents at one point. But this was, up in, my late teens and things like that. But so...
We obviously got a buzz from that. You actually got a buzz simply from making the profit out of buying and selling again.
Well, I'm not sure I got a buzz out of that. That was more because for financial gain. It was, I'd be very honest. That's what that was. Right. I think businesses eventually, when dreams got to a certain size, it gets a bit beyond that. It become different emotions become involved. But I think those early days of buying and selling were just about financial gain. Yeah. And I think most people who start businesses, that is their number one aim. They want to make some money and be wealthy, whatever. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You pay a lot of tax, you employ people, and that's all fine. But I do think there's other things going on in the background as well as just trying to make money, and it's trying to prove something maybe to themselves or their parents or their teachers, or trying to get some sort of recognition. I think there's an emotion somewhere there about running a business apart from just wealth.